Hello, Wayfarer, and welcome to your deck review. For those of you joining us on YouTube for the first time, this is a series where I, Maldhound, a known hater, will review your commander deck's PP. Your PP is your premise and your practicum. Your premise is the idea behind your deck. For this deck, it's fish. Not really, it's a Glarb deck. And your practicum is the stuff in the 99 and whether or not it helps you achieve that idea. So we're going to spend a little bit of time going over what does this person want to do? Why are they a bad person? What happened to them in childhood that led to them playing Sultai? And whether or not that's achievable in the bracket they want to be in. And then we'll get into their choices for the deck and what's holding them back, what they should lean into, etc., etc. This one's going to be a little weird because we're just going to totally collapse the primer. Wayfair, I want you to know I read this whole thing. We ain't reading that out loud. No, sir. No, sir. But it did enter my eyeballs. We got a lot going on here. So folks, headlines. The deck's very good. This is going to be one of the few decks we get for review where the problem is not we have to make it better. If anything, we have to make it worse. I'm trying to find where they left it, but there's a point where they said, right, I'm tracking my win rate over 50%. We don't have to make this shit better. You're shooting you're shooting unsuspecting bystanders at an over 50% win rate. You don't need to feel bad about that. Because reading through what the deck does, it makes sense that your very unassuming value engine is catching people lacking, but you don't need the tune-up. Your play group needs to be told to run more removal and to stop letting frogs open bakeries or whatever the fuck you do. So with that said, what I'm going to focus on is what what can we do to make this more satisfying to you? If anything, we're going to make it worse. Because again, you're winning more than half your games. I have no interest in making this deck better. Right? We would expect you to win, obviously, 25% in a totally pure world. But there is nothing about this deck that has to be stronger. You've had maybe one unlucky game, but those days happen for everybody. And what I believe the only complaint that has been raised about this deck is that we can get a little noodle army. Not totally. We do have a way to win, but it can take us a while. And I think the reason it takes us a while is because we have a really creative definition of what a win con is. Everybody stare Archon of Cruelty in the face. Better yet, let's stare him in the text box. This is not a win con. This is a paper cut. A particularly painful one. But the psychology that I saw looking through your primer and looking through your justifications for a lot of card choices is you conflate winning a war of attrition with just being a win condition. And so if we move you away from that, that's probably how you're going to get the more concise, more explosive wins. And obviously you don't have to because you're already winning enough. But that, I think that's why you're winning so much, is because most people in Commander don't value winning the war of attrition enough. All they're trying to do is this big, flashy, stupid thing. And if the big, flashy, stupid thing doesn't work, they have nothing to do. Versus you're a lot more like you're like the secondary antagonist in every white-collar drama TV series. You're the guy who were in accounting, you were in legal, and while all the crazy stuff was happening with the first villain in season 1, you were just embezzling funds. And then season 2 pops off, you're richer than God, the characters have to try to figure out how to unseat you. So if you don't have a problem with that, change nothing about the deck. But I'm going to presume that you sent it to me because you found some part of it unsatisfying. And the only part of it that seems like it could be unsatisfying to me is you're talking about win conditions and you're showing me, hey, lose 2 life on upkeep. Cool. And I realize you're using him to double dip on Grey Merchant of Asphodel to I have another Archon of Cruelty. I can make one person lose 6 life in 1 turn, at which point the big happens. So that's where I would seek to make changes. You obviously have enough card advantage. Glarb is very, very good at card advantage. All the situations you laid out in your primer make a lot of sense to me. Very, very good and responsible ramp package. Please everybody else who's watching any of these videos to gain insights on your own deck building, take note of this. They have a 3 mana commander, and they are still running 14 pieces of ramp. Now, some of this ramp is not applicable until after we play the commander, but it is still a priority to go turn 1, I'm ramping. Turn 2, I'm getting my commander out. Turns 3 and on, I am doing some cute synergistic thing. So let's talk about what we can do. What we could do to make this a little bit more explosive. And I'm going to try to think of like weird and bad things. Most of the stuff I'm going to throw out is you're going to go like, oh, but that's worse than what I currently do. Correct. 22 wins, 16 losses. It's going to be worse than what you currently do, but I'm going to try to make you feel something. So when it comes to like Scarab God, my immediate thought would be not Scarab God for Right of Replication. Imagine I spelled that right. Now, I realize Scarab God doesn't let you get it up out of the trash. So it is not as flexible as Scarab God. But what it does do is give you 5 Archons of Cruelty. That wins the game in a very concise manner. And with the turn lengths that you're talking about your game is currently getting up to, I do think you have the mana to cast a kick Right of Replication. Or like, do this on a Gary, do this on a Massacre Worm. Like, we have to start thinking of I'm going to be looking for places where we can inject something that is totally impractical. It's not totally impractical, it wins the game. But something whose main practicality is I take an already established advantage and I just explode it into you are no longer stopping me. I don't think I love this flash package, but I get it. This is just a total aside. This does seem to be like you play enough interaction that I'm down with wilderness reclamation no matter what you're doing. The Fairy Mage of Zalfir and High Fate Trickster, though, these do seem a little bit like things that could be winning you the game more concisely, but instead of winning you the game more concisely, we're just like, again, we're in the accounting department. We have an abacus. We are doing so much math to figure out how to screw over the protagonist. And that's another place I think you could probably trim for something big and exciting. Now, another question you posed in your primer was, is there a way to do Doomsday in bracket 3, or am I is that locked to bracket 4 CEDH jail? I think it's very possible to do Doomsday bracket 3. It just is. I say that I've been Doomsdayed. You definitely, I would tell people that's your win condition. And you talked about wanting to be a hipster, so I doubt you're going to use Doomsday to do Thoracle, but I presume you have some other type of line you can assemble from Doomsday and Sultai. So if you want to do that, absolutely do that. I don't think Doomsday Excruciator works nearly as well, because Doomsday Excruciator, you don't get to pick the cards, right? So you don't get to actually assemble your combo line, you just kind of die. We don't mill enough also for you to do Doomsday Excruciator and then mill your opponents out to win. So what other things could we do that are big and gorgeous? I'm thinking about like, how do we make you win with Jumbo Cactuar? That's what you need, honestly. You need a weekend bender with a just magnificent cactus. Or you need to like... Yeah. Shai Hulud, motherfucker. I don't actually think you should play this one. I think this is like even slower. You don't have a good way to ramp to it. I think something that could be interesting and would definitely be a little bit less responsible is Blue Go-Go. I was gonna struggle a little bit because like we can't play him off the future site. He's very, very mana hungry. But this is another way where if you're like, let's say you're flashing back Dread Return to cast Grey Merchant of Asphodel for free. We have Gogo on the field. We can then dump the rest of our mana to probably just win the game outright. We have a Archon of Cruelty trigger. Dump a bunch of mana to burn way harder, totally rip their hand. Like, it's another way where we can take all of the big responsible things we're already doing and utilize our ramp section, utilize our ability to hit land drops to do them to an irresponsible degree, which is typically where the fun comes from if you have a deck like this that's winning so much and still managing to not be satisfying. So what other type of weird shit could I don't think there's any point to Voltroning your commander. Are there any black creatures? I mean, there's stuff I like Lord of the Void, but Lord of the Void isn't going to solve this problem because Lord of the Void is already not concise. You could play his wife, his Moistness wife. The problem with this is that we would almost never want to surveil her, and we do need to cast her from hand, so that does introduce a lot of difficulty. You might find that difficulty to be a fun minigame, because again, we have optimized this deck to within an inch of its life already. But that would be another, like, it is more concise, it's big, it's top heavy, unwieldy. Yeah, I really don't love this nickel and dime strategy you're going for. I get why you're going for it. I get why it works, but I feel like if there is discontent, if there is something rotten in Denmark, the thing that's rotten in Denmark is that you either are going infinite with the 3-card loop that you talked about with like Doom Whisperer, Bloodthirsty Conqueror, and then Polluted Cistern, or I guess it would work with Sir Conrad too, but like you either get to go like, okay, I drain you for 2, pass, whatever, or okay, I win the game, I'm done now. So what are other big things that could be fun with that? I wonder about Gitrog, not this one actually. This one. Do we care about the creature's power? Do we get stuff out that's powerful enough for this to be meaningful? We're gonna go land. The greediest birds of paradise of my career. We are gonna hit that. Holy shit. Play with top revealed. We draw that. I'm gonna surveil 2. These both go to graveyard. I play this. I play likely Talion. It's early enough that I think Talion is a valuable thing to stick, but I have so many good permanents I want to stick. My god. I'm probably going to put this deck in the description so people can just look at it for like, this is what it looks like to just build a deck that is like ramped to my advantage engine and just play so many good permanents. I'm killing you with this is mid-range, baby. I'm just killing you with good permanents. Eventually, I'm going to have so many good cards that like kind of synergize with each other, but don't necessarily, like they synergize with, damn, this cards that make you say fuck is what this synergizes with. Given that I don't have anything to cast at instant speed, I'd probably just stick Talion. Hope that I draw 1 with Talion. I play Fabled Passage. Okay, Ice Till Explorer's right there. I'm almost to Flotsam Jetsam. I could do Sir Conrad. But here is where I probably do Wilderness Wreck. And then on someone else's turn, flash in Unagi. And like Ice Till's so good, I almost want to surveil him away because he like it feels too boring. We have so many things that are responsible value accrual. I feel like I have enough, and now I'm looking for something saucy. Like I want to find a reanimate spell to get Archon of Cruelty back or something like that. So I'd surveil 2. Hey, Living Death, great. but I don't want a living death because we have a really good board. Oh Jesus, it's actually, I wouldn't be living deathing. I would be court of calling, because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can get a 4 drop. Anything 4 or less mana, or I could do 5 or less mana if I committed Glarb to it. I don't think I want to get Timeless Witness. That's crazy. We probably, okay. So those guys are shuffled. I never surveilled with Glarb. I instead did Court of Calling to get to Fairy Mage of Zalfir. Then I untapped all my lands again. And then I flashed in Sir Conrad, and then it's my turn. We'll surveil. Get out of here. This down. And we haven't really done any interacting, but I don't think we need to. So I think this playtest feels like a perfect example of why the deck is really, really powerful and why it might not be satisfying. Because none of the things we've done are like those big anime commander moments. But everything we've done is really, really good. I don't know how to exactly estimate how many cards we're going to get off Talion and Unagi together. We could have stuck Ripples. I'm sure I could have sequenced this in a way to have Ripples out too. We have our next 2 land drops ready. We have a ton of Theft ready. But none of it makes me feel anything. None of it is like... It feels like a big mega corporation. Like it feels like a big... like a hedge fund almost. Everybody's paid really well. Everybody's making a lot of money. They work in the same department, but nobody really knows each other deeply, right? Like none of these people have ever been over to each other's house for dinner type thing. And so I think the way we can fix that is we can either fix that with spectacle by trying to get away with more like big things that are happening at sorcery speed, like Gitrog the Ravenous Ride, to kind of churn to finding these big reanimation spells sooner. We can play stupid cards like Jumbo Cactuar. We can go for those big clone spells. Go for something like Go-Go. But I think that is the injection that would make this deck feel more satisfying to you, because it's so good. There's nothing you need to cut here. There's nothing you need to add here. This is like peak bracket 3, heinously strong good stuff pile, but you need a kickball tournament on the weekends for all these hedge fund bros. Or you need to apply a secondary thematic restriction to the deck. Because right now the thematic restriction is like, hey, they're not a game changer, but you're really going to think they are after you're done playing against this deck. And I think either of those 2 options would make you like the deck more, but it's extremely well built. I will forever hold this up as an example of like, if you want a deck that works, this is the attitude you should take towards making the deck work. And I would likely be doing 1-for-1 swaps on our win cons, or you could really cut anything. Everything's so good. Everything's such good incremental value that I would just be randomly taking out things. Like I would be taking out anything that provides incremental value for something that provides a huge amount of value in one turn, if things are set up correctly, and experiment with that until something makes you grin real big. I realize that's a bit philosophical. I hope some of the examples I gave put you on the right track. People in the comments, if you have big, dumb Sultai win cons you think this person should try, please let them know. I wish you the best, and I do hope this helps.